Thank you so much. Hello?
All right. Wonderful morning and blessed morning to all of our listeners in the city of Abuja. Bless you guys so much for your time. We're going to be going quickly on the newspaper review this morning, and it promises to be exciting. I mean, the very first story will be an interview we had with the Deputy Governor of Lagos yesterday, where he was talking about ethnic bigotry in Lagos, and he talked extensively, calling for peace, calling for tranquility, but he also denied when I did ask him that did he ever see the Bayononuga famous tweet that this should be the last time the Igbos had anything to do with the politics in Lagos. And he denied blatantly. And I was taken aback that he denied. But I also did ask him that if you had seen him, what would you have told him? He said he would have condemned it. I said, okay, at least put in a condemnation statement as regards it. Then we also did talk about Lagos PD and all of that. What I'm just going to advise is let's try as much as possible to keep the peace in the country because Nigeria cannot move forward if we do not have peace. And enough of this ethnic baiting. Like I normally say, our real opposition is not our brothers that are suffering just like us, the Igbo, your Hausa brother. Your real opposition is the political class that steals from you and makes life miserable for you. And your duty as a citizen is to be able to hold that political class accountable. And if you don't do that, then you can't build a country that stands the test of time. So it's best you look at things that way. Afterwards, there are other stories making the rounds. In fact, on the top page of the Guardian newspaper this morning, the front page, what happened was that the Guardian broke down all the FAC allocations collected region by region in the last about 7 months, and all the money is going to over 7 trillion. And when you check it region by region, some region got higher than others. I mean, regions like the south got about 1.8 trillion, southwest about 1.2 trillion, and the northeast got less. The question is, what was this money used for? So this is the time to also call your governors and ask them the questions that all of this money, all of this allocation that they've been able to get over the years, what have they been able to use them to do? How have they used them to better the lives of the people and the lots of the people? Because if we don't answer that, there's no harm of society. What has all of the allocation been used to get? I mean, you cannot have it. Humongous amount of money are set aside for allocation, and you hardly get anything. So, what are these monies being used for? What are the political class been able to do to be able to ameliorate the challenges people are facing? And how can we improve the life and productivity of those people? I mean, I think those are the very pertinent and important questions we should always ask. And another couple of stories making the rounds. Nigeria has a big tuberculosis scourge and we must watch it. And the World Health Organization is talking about the fact that there's a big tuberculosis scourge. In fact, one of the biggest still in the world around here. So please, a lot more people must go for tuberculosis testing and screening and things like that. So we can also look for how to build a very viable society and make our society, you know, the test of time. Another story making the rounds. Mr. Wale Edo, the Minister of Finance, has come up to say that despite the fact that the Senate did move to increase ways and means from 5% to 10% threshold, it doesn't mean that the government wants to borrow more money. The truth is, a lot of people think that the government actually wants to borrow more money. And that's why all of that is happening. Because if that's not the case, then why are they increasing the ways and means threshold? Because that's the pain in the land. We are saying that we've borrowed more already. We can't see what we've done with the money. And we even complained that the 5% threshold was so much already because the government just borrowed recklessly and we still owe a lot in ways and means. And now we still want to increase the threshold. So there are many factors there that needs to be looked at. The military yesterday had a press briefing. They talked about peace, security. They said most of the perpetrators, those that were waving all sorts of flag with allegiances to other countries like Russia, have been apprehended, which is a good one. We call for peace. We call for security around that area. As of yesterday, they said things had simmered down in Kaduna and some other parts where you had violence as a result of what's going on in the country. That's good. But also, we must also tell the military that we shouldn't also have a country where people are so quick to use all sorts of live bullets and live rounds and shoot on protesters. Anyway, they denied also that they don't normally use live bullets and everything, which is far from it. And another question equally was asked about the state of play of security in the country, as regards even energy security and crude oil theft. And I think the military did respond to that. They've been trying as much as possible to hide crude oil. So let's see how all of that pans out in the coming days. And it looks as though Leon Doma has kissed and made up with his people, but he still says he stands by what he says. And there's some papers that report that there might be a big reconsideration for him to be able get his position back as whip. Let's see how that pans out in the coming days. There are many, many other stories making the rounds this morning. I'll just touch on one or two of them. And let's not forget that on the international scene, it was a sad one for Nigeria yesterday at the Olympics. Things didn't go as planned for Ofili. I think she ended up sixth at the end of the race, which is a very sad one for us. But today, Nigeria is also looking at a miracle to be able to win the basketball game against America, which is going to be a tall order. The American girls, we all know, with the likes of Brittany Griner, a very top-notch team in the WNBA. And probably, let's see if we can use probably a miracle to be able to win them today. And probably the hope, medal hope for now will be probably the likes of our girl, Toby Amusho. Hopefully, she'll be able to make us proud and do something to be able to, put Nigeria up there as regards the medal table. But other medal prospects have not been good. Okorodudu couldn't pass through the middle rounds, the rounds to get up to the final where she could possibly be the running for gold medal and all of that. So that's about all making the rounds. And on the Democratic Party front in America, Kamala Harris, presidential candidate of the Democratic Party, has now picked a running mate, Tim Walz. In fact, they had a rally yesterday in Pennsylvania, which he talked about his origin, his liberal stance, the fact that he was a teacher. He also served in the national. He was also a congressman, and he believes in women's rights and fertility rights for America. In fact, he told the story of why he named his daughter Hope, because him and his wife went through many IVF sessions before they finally got it right. So, and it was a very good one, very good showing for the Democratic Party. Let's see all of that pans out. And he says he can't wait to debate the vice presidential candidate of Donald Trump, J.D. Vance. And everything is good, about 91 days. And some updates as regards Bangladesh. Mohammed Yunus, intellectual and founder of the Grameen Bank, has been selected to be the leader of Bangladesh in a bit after the ouster of Sheikh Hasina and an interim government to be overseen by the military. All of this will pan out for a while until they're able to return back to democracy and get elections. So that's about all we have for you this morning. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Of course, people 96.1 FM in Abuja. Bless you.
Of protests in Nigeria as it is today. I want to first of all start by recognizing the fact that Nigerians as citizens have a constitutional right to peaceful protest. And the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, also equally recognizes ample opportunity for people to air their grievances peacefully. This process, which started in that light, of course, we can all see today that it has taken another dimension. We share in the hopes and aspirations of Nigerians for better governance, which the President has also enunciated in the recent speech he made. The speech clearly brought out the intention of the President and the President administration towards addressing the issues of poverty and hardship that are facing Nigerians. On our part, the Armed Forces of Nigeria, We've been doing all that we need to do to ensure that we provide the enabling environment to support Mr. President and this government in the attainment of this objective of reducing poverty and hardship in this country. Particularly the Nigerian Navy, we have been working assiduously towards addressing the issue of insecurity in the maritime environment, and this has so far been paying yielding positive results, leading to the increase in our oil production, which is the mainstay of our economy. We also understand the enormous pains faced by Nigerians, because we're also Nigerians. But we understand that this cannot be addressed through violence, and that the only way to do is for all hands to be on deck positively towards changing this narrative. But I want to use this forum to remind each and every one of us that the armed forces of Nigeria is constitutionally charged with the responsibility of defense of the nation from both internal and external aggression and protection of the sovereignty of this country. And this is for the overall good of the entire citizens of this country. In addition to that, the Armed Forces Act has given us several other responsibilities which enable us to provide aid to civil authority. Key among these responsibilities is the protection of democracy and the protection of the freedom of Nigerians and their freedom to be able to select who should lead them. And that's why I say that the armed forces is the power behind ensuring that democracy thrives in Nigeria, and we are committed to do that because that is our mandate and it's something we've been trained to do, and we have to just do it. As we have seen that the protest has taken a new dimension to the extent that it has become something that appears to be subversive in nature. Because when you are protesting for bad governance or you are protesting for poverty, and then we see people deliberately calling for change of government, unconstitutional change of government, people asking for foreign intervention in our country, it shows that the intention of some of these protesters are not exactly what Nigerians were made to believe. It is obvious to us that many of these protesters are sponsored by elements, subversive elements, who are bent on distorting the peace that we have enjoyed in the last 25 years of democratic governance. It is also obvious to us that these people who want to perpetrate this ideology have other intentions other than the intention which they have made the gullible Nigerians to believe. And for that reason, as part of our constitutional responsibility, which is protection of the sovereignty of this country and provision of aid to civil authority, we are ready and we stand firm and resolute to provide the needed assistance to the Nigerian police in order to ensure that law and order is restored in all parts of this country where these violent protests have started. We will not renege in our responsibility, and we are ready to do it with the last drop of our blood. That I can assure you. The Nigerian Navy particularly will not sit back to watch these subversive elements take over our Commonwealth. We will do all that is required within the ambit of the law to show them that they have no place in our society, because we believe that we are protecting the majority of Nigerians, over 99.9% of Nigerians who believe in peace, who believe in the future of this country. These bad elements constitute less than insignificant part of our population, but unfortunately, they have the reach, they have the resources, and they are also backed by bad elements who want to see us go the way of Somalia and other countries. We, the armed forces of Nigeria, particularly the Nigerian Navy, say no to that, and we are ready to fight it to the end. On this note, I want to inform this audience that we have rejigged our operations and we have instituted other means to be able to track these subversive elements and bring them to book. We are therefore appealing on well-meaning Nigerians to join us in this vanguard for peace, to join us in reaching out to these hoodlums and let them know that the federal government of Nigeria is their friend, while those who are pushing them to go into subversion are the real enemies of the state and by implication, the real enemies of all Nigerians. Thank you very much.